Leader of the opposition Rahul Gandhi has faced withering criticism today. And it's not from the usual suspects. It's not from the BJP or from the larger NDA. It's also not from within the Congress or within the Greater India Alliance. But this time, Rahul Gandhi has been criticized by the Supreme Court of India, no less, viewers. The Supreme Court hasn't just flagged a concern, it has sparked a massive debate around what it takes to be eligible to occupy a constitutional post. In Rahul Gandhi's case, that of the leader of the opposition. The court was very upset with Rahul Gandhi for making what it called baseless comments about the Galwan clash of 2020. A few years ago, viewers, after the Galwan clash, after the facts had been very clearly and visibly enunciated in the public domain, Rahul Gandhi chose to go against them. Specifically during the Bharat Jodo Yatra, Rahul Gandhi implied that India's army in Galwan had been thrashed black and blue by the PLA. This was a claim, as I told you, viewers, that flew in the face of the facts that were presented by the army, presented by the government, and viewers through verified accounts of reporters and correspondents from here, from this channel and others, who assessed what really took place and reported it factually. In fact, viewers, so much so that China had to come out and concede that it lost a number of its own army personnel in Galwan as the Indian soldiers fought back. Yes, viewers, the Indian soldiers did the opposite of what Rahul Gandhi implied. Viewers, the Indian soldiers, a battalion of Indian soldiers, gave the Chinese, the PLA, a thrashing of their lives. The Supreme Court today asked him on a petition that was filed taking grave objection to what Rahul Gandhi had said. And in the context of that hearing, in an obiter dicta, it asked Rahul Gandhi where he got his facts from. This isn't just a legal diatribe. It's a searing indictment of a man who aspires to be Prime Minister someday, no less, viewers. The Supreme Court also implied that Rahul Gandhi had failed a crucial test of patriotism. While this anchor doesn't believe that the Supreme Court should be handing out certificates, and in fact the Supreme Court has no right to, unless called upon to judge a case of sedition, I will, for the purpose of the record, quote the Supreme Court statements which immediately led the BJP to question the Rahul Gandhi and viewers. Effectively, Rahul Gandhi's moral compass and his allegiance to the very institutions that uphold our sovereignty, the armed forces. So here is what Justice Dipankar Datta, part one half of the two-judge bench, said today in open court, and he said, and I quote, "Why in social media posts and not in Parliament? How did you get to know when 2,000 square kilometers was acquired by China? Were you there? Do you have any credible material? If you were a true Indian, you would not say all these things. When there is a conflict across border, can you say all this? Just because you have freedom of speech, you cannot say anything," unquote. Now, this was a severe indictment. And just so you know the context, Rahul Gandhi had seemingly painted the army in a very poor light by suggesting it wasn't up to the task of defending India's border, by mockingly suggesting that it had been given a thrashing by the PLA. On December 16, 2002, 2 years after the Galwan clash, viewers, Rahul Gandhi comes out and says, quote, "Chinese soldiers are thrashing Indian army personnel in Arunachal Pradesh," unquote, and other parts of the LAC. Let's be clear. Rahul Gandhi didn't merely criticize government policy. He accused our soldiers of being thrashed by China after Galwan, parroting Beijing's propaganda at the height of a national crisis. No facts, no evidence, as the Supreme Court points out, just as the Supreme Court implies reckless rhetoric that undermined morale and fueled misinformation. Some would even call it disinformation. This, of course, is the first time that Rahul Gandhi has invited criticism for allegedly betraying the national interest by making unfounded remarks or taking actions that benefit those opposed to the nation. Now, I'm not in any way, viewers, implying that Rahul Gandhi is an anti-national, but I'm just presenting some hard facts and leaving it to you to conclude. Viewers, Rahul Gandhi publicly agreed just 2-3 days back with US President Trump's characterization of India as a dead economy. His own partymen came out and contradicted him. Viewers, he went on to say we are now fighting the Indian state itself, criticizing what he described as institutional capture. The Indian state, he said, viewers. Rahul actively engaged with US lawmaker Ilhan Omar when he went to Washington, D.C. Now, Ilhan Omar has advocated for Kashmir's independence, viewers. And she's a bitter critic of India on the Kashmir issue and supports the Pakistani point of view blindly. In fact, she's even been taken to POK and insists on calling it liberated Jammu and Kashmir, or Azad Kashmir as the Pakistanis refer to it, viewers. Rahul Gandhi is patronized and was instrumental in giving a ticket to Sidhu Moosewala, who was pro-Khalistani. Rahul Gandhi supported former JNU student Umar Khalid in 2016 after the latter had organized a tribute for terrorist Afzal Guru, the parliament attacker or the mastermind of the attack on parliament, viewers, no less. The Congress came out today and sought to defend Rahul Gandhi, suggesting that asking uncomfortable questions, even inconvenient ones, is well within the remit of the LOP's job. Some critics are saying that the Congress can spin this any way it wants, but the real question is, can someone so cavalier with national security and so casual with facts be trusted to serve as a constitutional counterbalance to the government in parliament? In other words, does India deserve an LOP like him? Let's open this up, viewers. And I want to first begin with Dr. Sumant C. Raman, who has joined us. We also have another opposition stalwart with us this evening, Vivek Srivastav, Dr. Ranganathan, and of course, representing the BJP's point of view is Tuhin Sinha. Dr. Raman, let me first ask you what you make of the Supreme Court's indictment. Now, you can call it a moral one or you can call it, a legal one or what have you. I'm not getting into all of that, but clearly it did say things that have sparked a debate. And do you believe that Rahul Gandhi has in this context, and let's confine ourselves to this context, has in this context undermined the national interest?
Rahul, what did the court order? What did the court order after all these comments were made? I do believe that the court actually has given a stay on the criminal defamation. Has the court given a stay or not? Can you please clarify that to the viewers? You spoke eloquently about what all the learned judges said in the court and how it was a stinging indictment and all that. But you forgot to mention that they actually stayed the criminal defamation case. Isn't that the operative part? That is, in fact, what the court observed are observations, are comments. The court's orders are what are legally binding. And I do believe that, that the court has actually, for now, stayed the criminal defamation proceeding. So I don't see where this question of, getting into each and every word of whatever they have said is more important than the order that the court has issued, which you seem to have very conveniently ignored or not passed on to the viewers themselves. So I'm a little confused here. Look, comments, whether they were appropriate, whether they were not appropriate. And I want to know just one thing. What is this true Indian versus false Indian. I mean, who is a true Indian? How is one judged to be a true Indian? Who is the one who is issuing these true Indian certificates? Where can we go get these true Indian certificates? I'd really like some clarity on this. Is there any agency that is sort of distributing true Indian certificates? On what basis were these comments made? I'm not going into down that route at all. I'm just trying to ask. At the end of the day, the order speaks louder than whatever comments were made. And it's unfortunate that you did not tell the viewers that the criminal defamation has been stayed.
The reason I didn't is because it's a temporary interim stay.
Well,
just
if there is no merit, a temporary stay may not be given.
No,
if there is prima facie no reason for
Dr.
a
Raman,
stay
can you allow me, please? You asked me a series of questions imputing a motive that I was suppressing issues. No, 1 second. That I was suppressing facts, but viewers, I'm not. The fact is that this petition has not been quashed. This petition, on the basis of which a defamation case has been filed against Rahul Gandhi. Now, viewers, personally, I don't believe in criminal defamation. Personally, I don't even believe, as I've said in my introduction, that the Supreme Court should not be handing out certificates of who is a patriot unless called upon to do so in the context of a sedition case. But in this matter, viewers, there is an interim stay, so there is no cause for action, so that till the next hearing takes place on merits. This hearing was not on merits, viewers. On merits, there is no prima facie action that would undermine any of these individuals who are up against each other, which is Rahul Gandhi or the petitioner, their cases. So, viewers, it's just a technicality. We are asking a larger question because the court is prompting these questions. It's not Rahul Shiv Shankar, it's not the opposition this time. It's not a rhetorical question, viewers, that has been posed by known opponents of Rahul Gandhi. This is a constitutional court. I mean, this is a Supreme Court set up by the Constitution of India. Two very learned justices that are appointed to the bar that are asking these questions. In specific, it is an obiter dicta. I agree there, it's an obiter dicta, but it says a lot about a person's mentality. Now, Dr. Raman, don't you think that the court asking Rahul Gandhi, where do you get your information from? Why do you shoot your mouth off in a manner of speaking? Is an indictment of what now has turned out to be quite repeat behavior by Rahul Gandhi in different contexts. In those contexts, I have pointed out to you. You still don't believe it's an issue?
No, it is an issue. But the point is the way, the manner has been sort of mentioned by the court, especially the use of the term true Indian. I think that really calls for an explanation, because I honestly do not
let's
know
for a moment set that aside. Let's go with what you're saying.
Important part.
No, 1 second, Dr. Raman, let me ask. No, actually, I find the other parts more, extremely more troubling, which is the reckless imputations that Rahul Gandhi makes, agreeing with Trump one day, agreeing with the Chinese point of view another day. What are you trying to do in this country? Is that the role of a leader of opposition? Be constructive, even ask inconvenient questions, but be factual, be responsible. Don't become a vector for disinformation. You hold a very important post. You cannot take your responsibility lightly.
I think, Rahul, we've got to look at the two large issues here. One is the amount of misinformation that is being spread. And Rahul Gandhi is hardly the prime source of misinformation and disinformation that is being spread. Yes, he has made irresponsible statements. For instance, his statement on the economy, agreeing with Donald Trump on the economy being dead is extremely irresponsible. It deserves complete condemnation by everyone. I don't disagree with that at all. Having said that...
And this is not irresponsible.
The point is very clear.
Is this irresponsible or not?
1 minute. Let me come to this point. Look, the government has had multiple positions on what has been happening at the border, and over a period of time, there have been several questions which have been raised which have not been satisfactorily answered. So if he has been raising a provocative point to try and force the government to come out with a clarification.
The government has clarified, sir, on the floor of the House. The army has clarified. The army has clarified in press conferences. You know this.
Minute, sir. No. Can you play out a couple of these press conferences where the military has confirmed that we are allowed?
Okay.
1 minute. Where we are allowed to go and patrol exactly as we were doing before 2000.
Viewers, the question in context here was a very limited one. And it has been raised de facto by the Supreme Court. It has no objection to Rahul Gandhi asking these questions, only asking him to restrict himself to the parliamentary fora. He is, viewers, the leader of the Standing Committee of Defence in Parliament. Dr. Ranganathan, let me bring you in on this. Leader of the Standing Committee of Defence in Parliament, and since 2024, this term, he has been only twice for the meetings, and all the issues that he wanted to talk about, he absented himself. What does that tell us?
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. I am honestly amused. So the Supreme Court, even though it has granted interim stay, the comments that it has made should be struck off, not be discussed. For 20 years, the same people who are saying this today were discussing Modi being called a modern day Nero by Supreme Court, when those were just loose comments by the Supreme Court, never went into their observation or verdict. Those were just observations. But there, because it's Modi, we can call him Nero. Supreme Court says Nero. Out here, the Supreme Court has legitimately asked a question. Where on earth did Rahul Gandhi get information that 2,000 square kilometers of Indian land has been taken by China? It's a fair question. What does it matter if the Supreme Court has given interim stay or not? This question needs to be answered by Rahul Gandhi. So I'm afraid the fact is both Rahul Gandhi and Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi have been caught with their pants down, metaphorically speaking. Look, three things are constant in life, Rahul, you know this. Death, taxes, and Rahul Gandhi lying through his teeth. Not for nothing do I call him an industrial scale liar. He just lied yesterday, for crying out loud, defaming the late Arun Jaitley, and day before yesterday saying that India is a dead economy. Every day he gets up, falls out of bed, sorry to be taking Beatles epithets, but and lies. The same Rahul and Congress claiming Modi lost territory to China was before 2014 reiterating the fact that the McMahon line and the LAC, unlike the LOC, remains undefined at most places and is categorized under differing perception. Before 2014, it was different perception. Suddenly, after 2014, Modi comes and the perception changes. Even the status quo is disputed by both sides, unquote. So these transgressions are historical. The same Rahul thought nothing of the Chinese transgression before 2014 during the Congress rule. Let me remind him what his advisor said, I quote, the India-China border is not yet defined, and so when the Chinese make incursions, it only means that they haven't entered our territory, unquote. The same Rahul was tight-lipped when China occupied 640 square kilometers of eastern Ladakh during the UPA. A fact reiterated not by me or you by any other Sanghi, but by UPA's own Foreign Secretary, Mr. Saran. Who knows? Perhaps calling for the breakup of Ladakh was an obligation on part of the Congress in that MOU that it signed with the Communist Party of China back in 2008. The same Rahul was tight-lipped when China managed to make 600 incursions into the Indian side between 2010 and 2013, including Rahul in 2013, when the Chinese entered 28 kilometers deep into our territory at Dipsang. The same Rahul remained silent even as our trade deficit with China, that was $1.5 billion in 2004, climbed to $37 billion by 2014. The same Rahul has always been tight-lipped whenever it comes to China. The fact of the matter is, if Rahul was the captain of Titanic, he'd have steered the ship all night long in search of an iceberg to collide with.
Well, Vivek Srivastava, that's the fundamental point. You have a situation where an individual, and it can be tracked back, as some people say, to the MOU. They believe that the Congress party is soft on China because of that MOU, and you can see the pictures of that MOU. Let's bring those pictures back of the MOU. On the extreme right, there's Sonia Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi has been sat down. There's Xi Jinping standing over the shoulder of Rahul Gandhi's counterpart there, the head of the CCP. And
without the goatee, Vivek Srivastava without the goatee sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, does anybody know what is in the MOU? The government of India knows. It knows it very well.
No, how does it know?
And deliberately
It's a
so that
private
the debate
MOU
can go
signed
on.
between a Congress
and you
party.
can label Sonia Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi as anti-nationals. आप रोड फोटो दिखाइए. भारत सरकार को पता नहीं चला अभी तक MOU में क्या है.
कैसे
You
पता
called
लगेगा
Xi Jinping
सर?
over to Gujarat. You took him. You had a good time with him and you don't know.
सर कैसे
You never
पता
asked.
लगेगा आप जरा बताइए.
Your foreign minister goes over there and he
MOU
doesn't
किसी की
know.
तिजोरी में है, कैसे
The
पता
truth
लगेगा
is they
सरकार
know.
को?
The truth is they don't want to tell you that they know, so that you can every day show these pictures and say, "Dekho, dekho, Sonia Gandhi,
Mr.
Rahul Gandhi,
Srivastava,
anti-national."
why doesn't the Congress put it out?
Traitors. Don't do this, boss.
Why
Don't do
can't
that,
the
boss.
Congress put it out?
भारत की सरकार और हमारी इंटेलिजेंस, सर, इस देश की सरकार और इंटेलिजेंस इतनी स्ट्रांग है, उसको पता है क्या है, और MOU में कुछ भी शेडी नहीं था. यह है पहली बात.
No, how do
दूसरी
you
बात
know?
पे आते हैं.
How do you know?
सच्चा
How do you know?
हिंदुस्तानी-
How do you?
There is an
आपने देखा है?
observation. सच्चा हिंदुस्तानी as
How do you know?
हाँ.
How do
क्या
you know?
देखा है?
How do you know?
No, I know.
How do you
I
know?
Because I trust
I
my government
know.
intelligence. I trust the Indian army.
The Indian army
I
had
trust
nothing
my
to do with it.
intelligence
They didn't
agencies.
sign the
That's
MOU.
what I
It was the
trust.
Congress party and the CCP
You
that.
don't trust the intelligence. You don't trust the intelligence of this country. That
Sir,
is
no
your
one
problem.
saw that.
I trust. The
Sir, no
government of
one
India
saw
knows
that.
what is in the MOU.
Why can't the Congress put it
Yeah,
out?
Everybody has seen it.
No,
This
if it's
government
nothing,
knows
why
it.
can't the Congress put
This
it out? Why is the
government
Congress?
knows
No,
it.
hang on. Vivek Srivastava, you answer this question. Why can't the Congress
Yeah.
put out the terms
Yeah.
of the MOU?
Yeah.
Did the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation
not.
accept money
Let
from
the
the
government of India
CCP?
do it.
Yes or no? Did
We
Rajiv
cannot
Gandhi
keep
Foundation?
reacting. The Congress cannot keep reacting.
Why?
The Congress cannot keep reacting to every wrong narrative of Rahul Shiv Shankar
Okay.
and this government.
Viewers.
Both of them hands in hands.
Viewers, today.
And yes, Rahul Gandhi is a patriot.
Okay, today, viewers, let me quietly tell you this. It is the Supreme Court that is asking the questions. If they're not obligated to answer the Supreme Court, what does it tell you, viewers? That they're too entitled to be questioned. That they're above law, they're above question, whether it is Herald,
No.
whether it is
No.
anything. No, one second.
No.
If the world is, no, hang on. If there are
We are answering.
insinuations,
We are ready to answer.
Vivek
The
ji,
Congress is ready
if
to
they
answer
are,
everything.
Vivek ji,
And we are alliance partners.
where
in the
has the
alliance.
Congress party, name me
trust the
one
Congress.
place where the Congress party has held a press conference and shown this is the MOU, these are the terms of the MOU, have we released it? Have you seen any press
It should
conference?
not. It should not.
It should not.
It should not.
So
it should
viewers,
not be done.
it should come out
We are not
constantly
going to be
making
reacting.
statements
I'm
that the
amazed.
We are
court
not
says.
going to react to allegations of people like you and the government.
Okay.
Let the
Rahul,
government of
just
India
5
show.
seconds.
They also
Just
have
5
it.
seconds.
Okay. 5
The
seconds
intelligence has
before
it.
I bring in Tuin Sinha. Yeah.
No, I just want to bring out the glory of my good friend Vivek. 5 days ago, you remember on your very show, I was there. Today he says he really trusts our intelligence agencies. 5 days ago, he was saying, I do not believe what our intelligence agencies are saying that the Pahalgam terror attack was carried out by Pakistan. Whenever he wants to trust our intelligence agencies,
Yes.
because he's on, you still don't trust them.
No. No.
There we
It is manipulated by the government. Yes. It is capable. Yes. It is capable. Yes. My
Okay, so
intelligence
viewers-
is capable.
so
My
viewers,
army is
here is-
capable.
here is-
But when the External Affairs Ministry
No,
tries
one
to
second,
manipulate
one
the
second.
Defense Ministry, the Home Ministry,
One
that is the
second.
problem.
All the more reason. If the truth is being manipulated, if the intelligence agency knows what is in the MOU, and if it is being manipulated by the government
Yes.
at the center and the BJP to say something quite the contrary, why hasn't the
Yes.
Congress come out and put it out there? Does it want to be lashed every day? Does it want to be
Yeah, we
lashed
wa-
every day
we
by
want
the
the
government,
yeah, we
by the
want we
public
want-
perception? Does it want to
No, we
always
want
come
the
across
government
as
to
somebody
come
who
out
has
of it
something to hide?
and
Sir,
show
आप
their
अपने आप को ही
fraud.
contradict कर रहे
We
हैं,
want
विवेक
the
जी।
esteemed journalists like you who do stories every day, showing us money trails, showing us documents.
can I-
Why don't you guys come out
Come on,
and let the country know what is what?
I'm not in the
Because
closet,
you don't
sir,
have it
I'm
and
out.
You know in your hearts that there is nothing to show.
Okay. Let me bring in.
There's nothing to show,
let
and there's nothing to hide.
You see, viewers,
And all is
You
well.
know, some people complain. Why is it that I interject and put their faders down? But you know, sir, I have now decided, viewers, that I'll let them speak so they can expose themselves. I think I was doing a real injustice to the viewer by not allowing them to see just how facetious their point of view is. But nonetheless, Tuin Sinha, the question that doctor is asking you, Suman Siraman, he's asking you very simply this: you're focusing on the wrong issue. You should be focusing on the interim stay that has been granted for the next 2 weeks or so. That's the issue.
Well, Rahul,
you shouldn't
the
be looking
stay-
at what the
the-
Supreme Court has said. How do you respond to him?
No. Good evening, Rahul. Good evening, Rahul. Good evening, everybody. You know, the stay becomes inconsequential when you look at the kind of remarks, the kind of indictment the Honorable Supreme Court has made against the leader of the opposition. I feel it's a sad day in India's political history because after these comments by the Honorable Supreme Court, the leader of opposition, India's leader of opposition, is a certified anti-national. You know, look at the comments. How can a true Indian make such remarks? And this was particularly in the context of two remarks. One, that 2,000 square kilometers of land have been incursed, have been taken away, which was false. And second was even more bizarre. You know, imagine in December 2021, it was the Indian forces which had bravely driven the Chinese aggressors out of Arunachal, and he comes and says that hamare sainik pite gaye hain. So he wanted to reverse the situation. For a long time now, we have believed that he takes his dictations from Morning Times, Beijing. But today's remarks of Supreme Court seem to corroborate it. You mentioned a lot of points. You mentioned many points of his anti-national behavior. But I will point out one which I feel is the most glaring one. On the eve of G20 finale in India in September 2023, you know, just 2 days before we declared the India-Middle East-European corridor, you know where was Rahul Gandhi? He was in Brussels heaping praises on China's BRI. You know, so I think it's about time Rahul Gandhi decides which country he wants to operate in. But if any other leader of opposition if these remarks had been made against any other leader of opposition, perhaps the leader of opposition may have seriously contemplated quitting from his position.
So let me ask, on that line, Dr. Raman, I don't know if you're aware, but on September 11th, which happens to be at least in the American calendar, a supremely symbolic day. Rahul Gandhi was cloistered in a meeting with Ilhan Umar. He was the leader of the opposition from the Lok Sabha. He met this particular legislator in Rayburn House office building in Washington, around the same time that Prime Minister Modi was also in Washington. I'm saying around the same time, not exactly the same time. I want to ask you, sir, Ilhan Umar has very controversial positions with regards to India. She fully supported the Canadian investigation into the Niger issue. She stood very, very clearly with the position of Pakistan on Kashmir. You know all of these things. Should Rahul Gandhi, as leader of the opposition, be hobnobbing with a person who is declared her allegiance to Pakistan in one of the most significant issues that confronts modern India, which is Kashmir? Sir.
Rahul, while I appreciate your concern on this matter, I would also draw your attention to President Trump's latest post, where he says he will be substantially raising the tariff paid by India to the USA.
Sir, answer the question. We will be covering that in the latter half of this program. I just want to ask you.
This came out.
That just shows. No, that also shows. Let me tell you what that tells you. If you want to get into that, sir, let me quickly put it down for our viewers. Yes, Mr. Trump has come on. No, don't tell me what I have to do. I am only asking questions on the back of what the Supreme Court is asking Rahul Gandhi to do, viewers. But if the Supreme Court doesn't matter, so I want to come back. 1 second, viewers. Rahul Gandhi has been saying that Modi has surrendered. He has been saying Modi has surrendered to Trump on everything, from war to trade. If that is the case, why is Trump wanting to substantially raise the tariffs against India? Because he is upset that India continues to hobnob with Russia. Viewers, it's breaking on our channel. It's been breaking on our channel for a while now. It's on the ticker also, and it's on the right. But I want to come back to the point, Dr. Raman. I'm not going to move away from that point. We will discuss Trump later on in the show. The producers already know when we are going to be debating it. But I want to come back to you on this question. Should Rahul Gandhi, as leader of opposition, be meeting Ilhan Umar? Sir.
Ilhan Umar happens to be, whether we like it or not, a member of the US House of Representatives. So if, officially, the United States has not found it necessary to sort of ban her from the House or to take action against her.
He has
Mr.
a
Trump,
choice.
for instance,
Should he be
feels
meeting her or
that
not?
she should be deported.
I am not
Mr.
talking
Trump,
about.
for
I'm not
instance,
talking about her legitimacy in U.S. politics. I'm talking about the fungibility of Rahul Gandhi meeting somebody who supports independence for Kashmir. Should he be
second,
meeting a person like that? It's a simple
Rahul,
question.
can I comment
let's
for
be very
30
clear.
seconds?
You have
comment
in
for 30
politics
seconds?
to meet people who have radically different views from
Okay.
yours. You don't agree with those views. Perhaps he meant to try to convince her
Rahul,
to change
can I
her mind
comment
for
or
30
change
seconds?
her point of view.
Okay,
Why not? How do you know what he meant her for?
because clearly she hasn't.
Yes.
Clearly she hasn't, has she?
He may not have.
Okay, what
but
does
meet
Mr.
people-
Tween Sinha, and let me
you
also bring
meet
in Dr.
people
Ranganathan
to
think
try
about this.
and
Mr.
get them to
Sinha,
change their
respond to
mind.
doctor.
One important point, one very important point. You know, Rahul Gandhi chooses the timing of his meetings with Ilhan Omar or Jeremy Corbyn to send a message to his whoever seems to be sponsoring him. If you look at it, Kashmir elections were round the corner in October last year. We were demanding that he make his position known on Article 370. While he, refused to make his position known on Article 370, his meeting with Ilhan Omar made it clear what he really wanted to convey. Similarly, his meeting with Jeremy Corbyn happened after the abrogation of Article 370, when Jeremy Corbyn's position on Article 370 and Kashmir was well known. So I think, there is certain messaging with Rahul Gandhi keep sending across to whoever, he wants to abroad. And that makes it all the more sinister.
Okay, Dr. Ranganathan, I just want to remind you that Dr. Jaishankar refused to meet a US lawmaker who has very obtuse views about India. So there is a choice. Yes, that lady was a US lawmaker, but it's up to you who you want to meet there and for what purpose. Am I wrong?
No.
Am I right?
Absolutely true. I mean, are we talking about something that is a disclosure worthy of a Nobel Prize? Of course, Rahul wants to meet them because Rahul believes that these people are important to garner vote from his constituency. That is the reason why Priyanka Gandhi holds that jhola that talks about Palestine and the Gazans, but is completely silent about the emaciated Jewish the person who's been kidnapped and whose horrific visuals are all across the globe today is completely silent about it. So that's not the question. And I do partly agree with Dr. Raman that there is no harm in meeting. Of course, there is no harm in meeting even Dawood Ibrahim, for crying out loud. The fact of the matter was simple. The topic of the debate was, is Rahul a liar? The answer is an emphatic yes. He has had to apologize groveling in front of the Supreme Court for lying. What more proof do you want? And again I ask, through the auspices of you to the good Dr. Raman, where did Rahul Gandhi get the magical 2,000 square kilometers of Indian territory given to China from? Please tell us, Dr. Raman.
Okay, now let me answer that question. I do not know personally where Mr. Rahul Gandhi got that information, but there have been multiple reports on media which have carried that number. And I mean, there are not one or two. All you need to do is to go on Google and look for this information. Multiple quote unquote reputed media houses have carried this information, making it as an allegation. Obviously, they don't know the truth as well, but the allegation has been repeated.
Okay.
All you need to do is go on Google and look it up.
So when an allegation is made, viewers, you expect a response. The government gave its response. The Prime Minister gave his response, said anyone has not come onto our territory and neither is anyone retaining our territory. He made it very clear. And in Parliament, Dr. Jaishankar in fact went into the minutiae in his response on the China debate, viewers, a few years ago. Let me also tell you, viewers, that, and this is very, very critical, if there is no agreement that binds the Congress party to the Chinese government, the Congress party can very well come out and make the details of the MOU public.
If the government doesn't know this,
it's
a serious intelligence
Well,
lapse.
sir, how should the government know
If the
this?
government does not know
Do you
this,
want the government to put Pegasus in your phone, Pegasus in everyone's phone? You don't want, right?
No, but
So you can't have it. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both
Why
ways.
was there no
You can't
cooperation?
have it
Rahul,
both
you're
ways. You
storing
can't come out and
yourself
suddenly say, oh, the government
you're
snoops
storing
on us through Pegasus. But
You're
you see,
scoring a
viewers,
self-goal by
you can't have it.
reminding viewers of
You can't have
Pegasus.
it both ways. You can't come out
You're
and say, "Oh, the
scoring-
government is spying on us using Pegasus," and
You
when,
are
of course, it is
scoring
not spying on you, you
a
say it should be spying on us.
self-goal.
It's a weird
You
logic,
are
viewers.
scoring
Anyhow,
a self-goal.
okay, we have all scored self-goals. Fair enough, viewers. Even the Supreme Court tonight, by Dr. Raman's point of view, has scored a self-goal because it has made some obtuse remarks. Well, it is given an interim stay. It doesn't quite work with it very well. So basically what we are having right now, viewers, is you're having a situation where Rahul Gandhi seems to be in a situation that he has created of his own making and is being held to it by the court. This is yet another indictment of Rahul Gandhi, raising questions about his maturity, his sagacity, and most importantly, his sense of impunity, that he thinks he can get away with it. That's why he keeps making them. Viewers, I need to move on because we've really hit a new low in Indian politics. We've hit a new low in Indian politics. Parliamentarians are today finding ways to rationalize terrorism, particularly religious radicalism or bigotry. A top opposition leader and close aide of Uddhav Thackeray has said, and I quote, "As long as there is hunger, devils will be born. Monsters are born out of hunger and unemployment. Wherever there is hunger and poverty, people have taken up arms. They can be called terrorists, Naxalites, or Maoists. Kasab wouldn't have been born in Pakistan if there had been education. Poor are exploited in the name of religion and monsters are born," unquote. Now, viewers, this kind of post facto rationalization first denies one of the greatest threats to India, that of Islamist terrorism, a project that has been unleashed to divide our country on religious lines like partition did in 1947. Second, it whitewashes Hindu phobia. It suggests that radical Islamist separatist Umar Khalid, Islamist terrorists like Burhan Wani and others who conducted a genocide against Hindus are essentially misguided youth. Had they been given the right bread with the right jam, they would never have embarked on this dangerous enterprise of singling Hindus out and killing them in cold blood. That there would be nothing like the Israel-Palestine issue. Gazans with full stomachs would not try and take babies, Jewish babies out of the crib and kill them. They would never even elect the Hamas, which promised to do even worse. But the hard facts prompt some undeniable questions, viewers. In 2025, Pahalgam massacre saw Hindus slain by Pak-sponsored terrorists who singled them out for their religion. They were asked, in some cases, to recite the kalma. Those that could not were shot right between the eyes, viewers. They were asked to pull down their trousers to show if they had been, if they were Muslims or not. And when they failed that test, they were killed. The terrorists told one of the wailing survivors, "Go tell Modi what we did here." He calls himself savior of Hindus. Go tell him what we did. In 2008, Mumbai attacked by Pak-based LET terror module, Kasab and company, that targeted Jewish place of reverence, the Kabad House, viewers, in Nariman House. They singled out non-Muslims for killing in Taj Hotel and the Trident Hotel. You know all these stories and these facts as they were narrated, viewers, captured in grave depth by those who actually survived those killings and witnessed this bigotry. In 1990, Kashmiri Hindus, ethnic cleansing led by terrorist mobs, instigate by genocidal slogans issued from mosques. I don't even wish to repeat those slogans that were issued in Kashmiri, viewers. Except they implied that if the Hindus did not convert, they would be slain. In 2003, between 2003 and 2006, Nadimarg and Doda attacks saw the killing of dozens of Hindus, specifically Hindus, by Lashkar-e-Toiba genocidal kill squads. 2017 Amarnath Yatra attack, dozens of Hindu pilgrims were killed, viewers. 2002 at Akshardham temple in Gujarat, 34 Hindus were killed. Viewers, and we are told that terror has no religion, viewers. We are told by this gentleman in the middle of your screens, Sanjay Raut, that these people are just unfortunate, misguided youth. Viewers, think about it. Burhan Wani was supposed to be the son of a school principal from a middle-class family. By this logic, he shouldn't have been a terrorist. He had 2 square meals a day. His parents, or at least his father, was fairly decently off in his village, had a government job. Because Osama bin Laden was a billionaire. He lacked nothing. And yet carried out the 9/11 attacks in the name of religion, viewers. The Hamas looted all the food aid, their bellies were full, they fed themselves, and they wanted to kill Jews, exterminate them. By all this logic, viewers, this would not be happening. Omar Khalid, middle class student in JNU, decided he'd throw in his lot with Afzal Guru and company. So there's something very wrong here. There is a post facto attempt to rationalize one form of terror and constantly talk about the other form. Let's open this up, viewers. This requires some serious conversation. C.S. Jha, leader of the Shiv Sena UBT, is with us. Mr. Jha, what is going on? Can you explain to me, sir, why Pahalgam happened? If terror has no religion, why did Pahalgam happen, sir? Who was killed in Pahalgam?
Pahalgam happened, the government knows what was the failure.
No, I want you to tell me,
Everybody
because you've heard the... Please, let's be reasonable tonight. Don't defend the undefensible. You also have a moral obligation to the truth. You don't just have a moral obligation, sir, to your boss.
See,
You have a
everybody
beating
has a
heart,
moral
you have a
obligation.
conviction. I want to ask you, in Pahalgam, were Hindus targeted by their religion, yes or no?
Yes, they were targeted by the religion because Pakistan is based out of Muslim country.
Okay.
And we being the majority Hindu country, so we were targeted. And in
So
fact,
can I ask you,
the-
why was
the
Sanjay
government
Raut
should-
then saying that terror knows no religion? What was he trying to do here?
see, the Pakistan follows the terrorism through its religion.
So why
And
is
we
Sanjay
don't
Jha,
really
no, why is
terrorism,
Sanjay
but
Raut
he
giving them a
compared.
clean chit? Why is
But he
Sanjay Raut giving
compared.
them a clean chit? Why is he giving Pakistan a
nobody is
clean chit?
giving-
Why is he giving the
nobody is
sponsors of
giving the
jihad
terrorists-
a clean chit?
No, nobody is giving a clean
No, but
sheet.
he said this, sir. I'm not saying it. He said this. He said terror has no religion. In fact, terror is born out of only hunger, no ideology. Nothing forces you to be a terrorist except for hunger and poverty.
The basic terror or the crime increases when there is poverty, there is no education. So these things have been raised and pertinent questions were raised. These are the issues for the opposition also being raising to the government also.
Sir, I want to ask you a
in that-
specific
in
question.
that arena,
What
yes.
is the meaning of giving a clean chit to a particular form of religious terrorism?
Nobody has given a clean sheet. I'm
Mr.
sorry to
Mr.
say,
Raut
but
has.
it is
Mr.
in the
Raut has
different
said terror has
intentions
no
you are
religion.
talking about, but it is not the motive which he has spoken.
He
has
said terror has
spoken
no
very
religion.
Clearly that Naxalites, Maoists, terrorists born because of poverty or kind
Okay.
of education.
Let me
non-education.
bring in Tween Sinha on this point. Tween Sinha, how do you respond to C.S. Jha, who says that, look, Sanjay Raut is right. He's talking about the circumstances. He's not talking about anything much more than that.
Well, Rahul, this is not the first time the Uddhav Sena has disgraced the legacy of the late Balasaheb Thackeray. You know, Balasaheb Thackeray would not have imagined a day would come when Sanjay Raut would basically turn into a philosopher, woke philosopher, and justify terrorism and blame poverty and lack of education for that. No, lack of poverty and lack of education is not the reason for Pakistan-based terror. The reason is Gajwa-e-Hind, an unfinished agenda of the last 700, 800 years, which monsters like Aurangzeb did not succeed in, and which a terror nation like Pakistan will never succeed in. Please
Yes.
don't barge in, Mr.
Vivek
Your
Srivastava,
Chinese
please
bosses
don't
are not
interrupt.
going to-
He let him finish his point.
You over here.
रोज इस्लाम को गाली देने के
That's
अलावा
not the
कुछ
way.
आता नहीं है
So the
रोज खड़े होकर के गजवाए हिंद मुसलमान खराब
Rahul, did
इस्लाम खराब,
Rahul,
कुरान
did I
खराब,
abuse any
सब कुछ
religion on
खराब।
your show?
No, you didn't.
Rahul,
you
did
were
I
talking
abuse
about an
any religion
ideology.
on your show?
You were talking about a radicalized ideology.
Did I abuse-
It is but obvious what is your
This
narrative.
person is following
It
the
is
following
not
the
obvious
ways
what is
of
the
Rahul
narrative. What is
Gandhi.
the
You are misinterpreting
Pakistan
basic
is a-
statements
is a
over here,
country.
spreading
We do have
canards,
friendly
falsehoods.
relations. That is the
Supreme
reason.
Court has
Say
indicted
that.
your leader
Where
Rahul
does
Gandhi.
religion come in
Supreme Court
picture?
does not deem it
What is
necessary to
Gandhi?
comment on people like you. The point is, Rahul, Pakistan-based terror cannot be equated with Naxal terror like the Uddhav Sena spokesperson tried to do on your show. Pakistan has unleashed terror on Indian soil for the last several decades. And somebody sitting in Mumbai, especially a party based in Mumbai like Uddhav Sena, should remember the dark days of 11 July 2006 and 26/11,
versus India
2008.
are
If they
allowing
don't
that,
remember
where
that,
is
I think,
Pakistan
God
match?
save this party, because the sensible Rajya Sabha member, a sensible
you are
Rajya Sabha
a very
member
big
of this
citizen
party
of
has
India.
clearly
You are
distanced
speaking
herself
lies.
from the politics of Uddhav Thackeray.
You make out your faces.
No, I endorse what
Why
Sanjay
you are
Raut
speaking
said.
Sensible
lies?
Rajya Sabha member
Okay.
from
Okay.
your
You are
party
holding
has
India,
clearly
Pakistan
distanced
match.
Okay, one second, one
herself
second,
from
one second.
Uddhav Thackeray's politics.
One second. I just want to quickly, 1 second. Vivek Srivastava, don't get excited. Are you saying, that Pahalgam was not a religiously ordained attack, sir? Are you saying that the ethnic cleansing of Kashmiri Hindus did not happen because there is nothing called Islamist terrorism?
Yes. Okay, I'll tell you now. The biggest massacre of people was World War II. Was it because of the Muslims? The biggest terror state is Israel and America. You kill Palestinians. Is that Islam? When you destroy Iraq, although Saddam Hussein doesn't have chemical weapons, is that Islam? You destroy Afghanistan. You attack Vietnam. This terror that is happening, I mean, are the Muslims and Islam responsible for it? रोज खड़े होकर के गजवाए हिंद, Islam, Quran. What is this? You have to understand there are political ramifications. And yes, I endorse Sanjay Rawat. गरीबी नहीं होती तो terrorism नहीं होता. I endorse him completely. आप प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व कर दिए, कोई नक्सलाइट नहीं बनेगा, कभी नहीं बनेगा. हर आदमी पेट्रियोटिक है, उसका एक्सप्लॉयटेशन होता है तो गलत रास्ते पे चलता है, क्रिमिनल बनता है. I endorse what Sanjay Rawat has said, and that is it. And that is the problem we have to solve. या रोज खड़े होकर के हम शुरू हो जाते हैं. Islamic terror of the Gulf
Rahul,
is a
हमने
gift to
problem
the
को
world
solve कर दिया,
by the United
नक्सलिज्म भी
States of
खत्म हो
America,
गया
which
और
created
पाकिस्तान-based terror भी
Taliban
खत्म
to
हो
fight
गया.
the communist Russians, to fight the communist Russians. Why did the
Okay.
Americans create Taliban? Will you question America?
Okay,
Will anybody question it?
let me bring in
And the massacre in
Dr.
Palestine?
Ranganathan on this point. Dr. Ranganathan,
Yeah.
what do you make of this summary, heartfelt clean chit to any radical?
Look, I won't mince my words. If Balasaheb Thackeray was alive, he would have turned Sanjay Raut over and done what Tom did to Jerry for saying what he said. So, by that logic, Osama bin Laden was poor, unemployed, destitute, hungry, uneducated. That is what you call a billionaire chemical engineer who devastated the world through his terror acts. You know, if development and
politician.
prosperity brought peace, Middle East would be like what it appeared in that Trump video. And as far as Kashmir is concerned, on one side, 9 medical colleges, 1.5 million tap connections, 8 million Ayushman cards, 0.2 million homes, 0.8 million toilets, 65 million tourist footfall, 30% increase in school days, 9,000 kilometers of roads, 87% decline in stone pelting incidents, 80% decline in terror incidents, 40% decline in youth joining terror orgs, 45% increase in GDP per capita, health, wealth, education, all in the last 5 years in Kashmir. And on the other side, the lifeless body of a husband, eyes still staring at his shocked wife, killed because he was identified as a Hindu. But it will not shake the world's conscience, leave alone Sanjay Raut, because terrorism has no religion.
It was
Because
done
that is why
deliberately
terrorists
by
take
the
ID cards of
Pakistanis,
tourists, pull
so
down
that
their
the Hindus
pants
and
to
Muslims
confirm,
they can fight.
ask them to recite the
You
kalma
allowed the
and kill
Kashmiri
those
pundits to
non-Muslims.
rehabilitate in Kashmir till date. Can you answer
Rahul,
that? Can you answer that?
can you stop
What about
interrupting?
Kashmiri Hindus? Have you able
Can
to
you stop
rehabilitate
interrupting,
them?
please? What about Kashmiri Hindus? Are you not ashamed to even ask that question?
After this state has
What
been
else
formed,
if terror
can you
was not
rehabilitate
religious
them?
nature,
What
but
the
they're driven
government is
away?
doing still?
You are talking at a debate where the anchor's family has been driven away. How dare you denigrate Kashmiri Hindus and their plights?
No, have you able
How
to rehabilitate
shameful of
them?
you
Still.
to say that terror has no religion.
And we were demanding it since 90s. Have you ever done it?
Say such a thing.
What kind
Do
of
you know what
statehood
was spoken of
you
from
have
the
done
top?
in Kashmir? What
Do
kind
you know
of
the
things you
slogan
have done in
Dalip, Dalip,
Kashmir?
Dalip? Do you know what happened The slogans were, Kashmiri Hindus, you leave your women behind. Have
You
no
play
heart,
cricket
sir?
with Pakistan even after
Have
the
you
war.
no heart?
That is the main criteria you are
Shameful.
doing.
As I
And that is
said,
the job you
the
are
best
doing.
antidote to you
You are
is
not
to
running
look
a country.
there at the
You are
portrait
bunch
of
of
Bala Saheb
fools.
Thackeray.
You are
Sari
bunch
sense
of
aa
fools.
jayegi 15
This is the
15 minute.
country. And we will not tolerate it.
Well, look at this, viewers. Look how far the denial is now extending. Look how far the UBT has come, viewers, in their abandonment of their core philosophy for what? For votes. This is the real face of the UBT today, viewers. A national party that has gone to the extent of denying the ideological roots of terror to appease a vote bank. So I want to ask you, C.S. Jha, since you're such a openly secular individual, and let me ask Vivek Srivastava. Vivek Srivastava, do you know that Bal Thackeray
Yes.
and, in fact, Uddhav Thackeray are both great followers of Veer Savarkar? Are you aware of this? And that they constantly demand for Veer
There are many
Savarkar.
differences in.
No, 1 second. Abhi ruk jao.
Yeah.
1 minute. And
I'll-
secondly, they are very proud of the legacy that they brought down the Babri Masjid. Do you endorse this?
Yes. Yeah. We are a part of an alliance. We have
Sir, I'm
differences
asking
on
you,
some
left
issues.
leader,
We have
1
a
minute,
common
1 minute.
reform
Mr.
program.
Srivastava, take a position.
And
I don't want your homily. I want you, आप बड़ी बड़ी बातें कर रहे हैं about
my position
secularism.
is that
Let me
Bala
ask you,
Saheb Thackeray,
1 minute, let me ask
my
you,
position
let
is
me
that-
ask you, let me ask you,
I'll answer
let me ask
clearly,
you,
I'll answer
sir,
clearly.
you are from a left party.
Yeah.
You are from a left
Yes.
party. You know that your
Yes.
beloved leader, Mr.
Yes.
Achyutanandan, just died recently.
Yes.
Do you know what he said about
Yes.
Islamist terrorism in Kerala?
Yes.
Yeah, what
Yes,
did he say?
yes.
What did he say?
Yes.
Can you
Now,
quote?
Now.
Can you quote? No, don't say now. Tell me what did he quote? What was his quote?
Which come and go, but that is not
They
the
come
national
and
stand
go.
of the communists.
Viewers,
We are against
these
any kind of
people
terrorism.
kicked out
But then it is
Achyutanandan.
the hunger and it is the bad
They
economic
kicked out
conditions which create
Achyutanandan.
terrorists.
Let me be
It
very
doesn't
honest
depend
with
on the
you.
religion at
They
all.
put him to
I don't
pasture.
think Islam should be.
He was the chief
I
minister
don't
of the
think it is right
state.
to say that
And he
only
came
Islam
out and said that
only
there is a
Muslims,
grave
they are the terrorists.
concern
This is
and a
wrong.
grave threat from Islamist radicalization in Kerala.
Might have been at that time.
Oh, might have been
but
at
the
that time.
communists are not saying
Might have been at that
one
time.
particular religion is responsible
Okay.
for terrorism.
Okay.
We are
Viewers,
not
neither
saying
am I
that.
saying that.
And the
Neither
same
am I
Bala
saying
Saheb
that.
Thackeray
I am saying that
supported
there is
emergency
something called
along
terror
with
in
the
the name
CPI
of
of the
religion.
Congress Party.
And the earlier we recognize it, the better it is, because people have paid a price, including this person sitting on this show, viewers, tonight. C.S. Jha would not know, viewers. C.S. Jha has gone and done such a lobotomy on himself that he will not know. His bosses today are groveling at the feet of the Congress party because between the two of them, they can't rub three
Nobody is
votes
groveling.
together.
Nobody is groveling. Sorry to say.
Sir, then tell me, Rahul Gandhi says that your icon, Mr. Veer Savarkar, is a criminal.
We have
He's a criminal. Why are you hanging on to the coattails of Rahul Gandhi?
We have a
I want you to tell me. No, Mr. Shiv Sena, Mr. Shiv Sena, C.S. Jha, do you agree with Rahul Gandhi that Veer Savarkar was a coward? Veer Savarkar was a coward. Was he a coward, Mr. Jha? Was he a coward?
See, we have condemned and we have given.
You have not
warning
condemned, sir.
many a
You don't
time
stand up for your
to
principles.
Rahul
You have
Gandhi as well as the
absolutely,
Congress
no,
leaders
you have
not
broken
to
free
speak
from your
Veer Savarkar.
principles, and this is
And
proof
we have been
tonight.
continuously being
So,
held,
viewers,
holding
on
back.
two things, the Shiv Sena has become a surrender party. Number
Nobody
one,
has become
on
a
the
surrender
issue of Veer
party.
Savarkar.
We raised
Number
the
two,
issue of
viewers,
Kashmir-
on the
Kashmiri
issue of
Pandits,
what they
and even
said
today
was
we
one
are
of the
asking
greatest
questions,
threats to this
what about
country,
the
which is
rehabilitation
Islamist
of
terror.
the Kashmiri
On both
Kashmiri?
issues, this party has surrendered. They have become like little mice.
Nobody has surrendered.
Well, sir,
BJP has surrendered. And
I
that
don't
is the
know
truth.
why are you then
So
still in
India-Pakistan
alliance with a
matches are
party
happening after
that
the
constantly
war.
abuses Veer Savarkar? Why are you in alliance?
We have condemned and we have.
It doesn't matter. Why are
every
you in
time
alliance?
restricted
Tell me,
today,
why are you in
and very
alliance?
clearly
Your
we have
iconic
already-
leader, viewers, their
I'll tell
iconic,
you.
their
I'll tell you.
iconic leader,
I'll tell you.
who they think
Let-
should get the
let-
Bharat
let
Ratna,
BJP-led
is being
government
abused by the
explain
Congress
why
party.
India
Where is your
versus
humility,
Pakistan
sir?
match is happening.
Where is your sense
Why
of
after
morality?
the war they
Where
are
is
there
your sense of
consolidating with
ideological
Pakistan?
commitment? I leave it at this, viewers, because we have a lot of other things to talk about. This is the fact. The fact is our politics has sunk to the level where we will pick and choose what we, viewers, believe is the fact. which means you compromise with morality, you compromise with facts because you want to see political interest in that. That is what is happening, viewers, today, and the Supreme Court, no less, is calling it out. I just want to move on because there has been a big development. It happened about an hour back. We had reported it a short while ago. I just want to quickly recap because this is going to be a big story for tomorrow with consequences. Because in a few days, the Trump tariffs are going to be enforced against India. But days after President Trump announced his 25% tariff on Indian goods, plus a penalty which is unspecified, he is again threatened to raise the duty further because he believes that India, or Prime Minister Modi in particular, is not heeding to his call for banning relationship and ties with Russia, specifically in the context of importing Russian oil. In a post on Truth Social, Trump has claimed, and I quote, India is not only buying massive amounts of Russian oil, they are then, for much of the oil purchase, selling it on the open market for big profits. They don't care how many people in Ukraine are being killed by the Russian war machine. Because of this, I will be substantially raising the tariff paid by India to the USA. This comes days after Trump mounted a sharp attack on India and Russia for their close ties and said that the two countries can take their, quote, dead economies down together, unquote. Now, viewers, this we could take at face value as moral outrage from Mr. Trump. But unfortunately, viewers, look at his double standards, this man's. The European Union has imported LNG from Russia, and I'll give you the numbers, viewers. They're the number one importer of LNG from Russia. And viewers, Trump's regime has agreed to a 15% tariff when it comes to the EU. That's all. There has been no question of, at any level, punishing the European Union for being a trader. This is CREA data, viewers. Have a look at this. This is a graph, and it shows you that the EU is the biggest importer, and you can see that big bar right on top. EU is the biggest importer of Russian LNG. Those are the three letters, LNG. After that is China and Japan, viewers, which has also got away with a lovely, sweet deal. But viewers, South Korea, Japan, who are the big shoppers of LNG from Russia, are getting away. Norway also purchases, Singapore also purchases, Taiwan also purchases, viewers. Then let me tell you, viewers, pipeline gas. Here is pipeline gas. Again, viewers, look at this. The EU, by far, even more than China, is taking pipeline gas. That's Turkey, and that is, viewers, a country called Moldova, and there's Serbia. So EU there, the entire European continent is taking pipeline gas, according to CREA data, viewers, from Russia. But India is being singled out. You know why, viewers? Because India has decided to stand up to Trump. Mr. Modi has said, nothing doing, you cannot dictate to India. You cannot curb India's diplomatic autonomy, strategic autonomy, and economic autonomy. Sorry, Mr. Trump, but we drew a red line in the sand. And Trump is going stark raving bonkers, viewers. He's besides himself. The bully has been shown the door. He doesn't know how to react. So he said, let me do what I want to do, tear up the entire association with India, threaten it. But you know something, Mr. Trump? Your own economy is going to suffer. And there is factual data that shows it. The question that all of us should be asking, viewers, is whether Trump can afford what he's doing to America by raising tariff barriers across the length and breadth. I leave it at this, viewers. Palki Sharma's show coming up, The Vantage, next.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
बिल्कुल absolutely. The very fact that, had 4 results out of the 5 test matches, even that one draw was a hard-fought draw. And other than that, we've just had so much to talk about, so much drama in this series, so many lovely performances. All of those test matches, India has been in the mix. Some didn't go their way, but to come back in the final test match, really with the sword hanging over you, stupendous performance by the Indian side and the young of the Indian side. I asked Memen, senior journalist, is also joining us. We were talking about exactly this. A lot can happen even if you need 30 odd runs, but with just 4 wickets in bag.
Oh, absolutely. I thought, the key was getting an early wicket, in the first 3-4 overs, and that happened. In fact, we got a couple of wickets. So after that, the pressure, you mentioned earlier also how difficult it is to get those last 30-40 runs, especially when the pressure builds up to a crescendo, so to speak. And I thought, again, Mohammad Siraj was absolutely marvelous the way he's bowled right through this match, in fact, through the series. And Rajiv also mentioned, so while there is, Shubman Gill 750 plus runs, when you look at the impact Siraj has had on the series in terms of the matches won, the match saved, etc., he would be the man of the series because bowlers ultimately end up winning you the matches. But having said that, I think it's been a tremendous team effort by many of them on their first
Tour
series
to England,
in England, without Rohit, Virat, Ashwin, all of these players not there, and not many thought that India would even survive after losing the first test, that they would survive. And here you are with a 2-2 draw, which will go down in the annals of cricket history as one of the great contests that we've seen.
Yeah, I think the only one who was the remnant of the previous era, if I can use that term, was Ravindra Jadeja, isn't it? There is no Pujara, there is no Rohit, there is no Virat, there is no Ashwin. The last time, we played, it was only really Ravindra Jadeja. Of course, Ravindra Jadeja has played even as far back as 2014 in England. And that was also pretty exciting series to watch as far as the India-England battle is concerned. But, this is what young blood has really proven itself for Ayaz, because I would say that when they started out, yes, we had our own issues in the fact that we knew that maybe Bumrah will play only 3 of the 5 test matches, so we had to be very careful with him. It turned out to be exactly that. We knew we didn't have a lot of batsmen who had played in England before, but even England wasn't at their fittest or fullest, right? What has to be said though is that from both sides, even if you look at that, that win that England managed, where Jadeja and Siraj, in fact, 2 super players in this series, were on the pitch trying to get India that win. All of those moments, the banter between the 2 players on the pitch and, for others as well, there was just so much drama happening as far as this series is concerned. That just goes on to show the heart and the character that each player brought in.
I think so. I think that, they just took it on themselves to put up a really great show, be extremely competitive. I mean, there's not been one session which hasn't been enthralling, right through the series. And that's difficult to sustain, that kind of intensity. Remember, in this match, you're without Bumrah and Rishabh Pant, 2 of your best players, and then you go on to win the match and level the series. Yes, of the old guard, which you mentioned, Jadeja is still there. Rahul is there. KL Rahul has played in England earlier and he's had a marvelous series also. But I think the overall scenario is that after losing the first test, and especially with England scoring 373 to win that match, it seemed like, Baz ball will get the better of this new look Indian team very easily. It didn't turn out that way. I mean, England have had their own issues. They've had injuries, especially to Ben Stokes. I think Ben Stokes missing out this match was a very major blow, because Stokes has been by far their, the best player.
He was their best bowler, yes, before this test match, yes.
Best bowler, best batsman, influence on the field as the captain.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Maybe he'll wonder a little bit if he had pushed himself and just kind of played, body on the line kind of an issue here. Rishabh Pant did it for India. Chris Wokes has done it. Certainly, from the cricket fans, a big salute to all of these, players who really put everything on the field. But yes, one wonders if Ben Stokes had taken a slightly different call. I don't know how important or how serious it was for him to sit out. But it just goes on to show that this team now has the pedigree. This was supposed to be that test, right? The start of a new era under Shubman Gill as captain, but also because the entire core of the team had changed. But before I come to you, Ayaz, in fact, let me take this to Rajiv, because Does this team have that feeling around you there, Rajiv, that yes, ये नई टीम है, हमें प्रूव करना है कि ये कोर अब आगे जाके कितना खेलेगा, कौन-कौन होगा, कैसे चलेगा, क्योंकि वही सवाल थे इस सीरीज से पहले. New start of the WTC, cycle, a new start for the captain, in a way a test for Gautam Gambhir as the coach as well, and a lot has been.
Hello, Namaskar. This is First Post and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. It's India versus Donald Trump. After unleashing the tariff war, the US president is trying to police India's energy deals. He's targeting Russian oil. We'll tell you how New Delhi has responded. China too is defying US pressure, refusing to give in to Trump's demand on Russian and Iranian oil. But Washington's response is remarkably different. We will tell you how. Meanwhile, Trump is doing exactly what you would expect from a Nobel Peace Laureate. He is deploying